Hi guys, welcome to our first session for week 4. Today we're going to do the live critique. First we're going to talk a little bit about, last week we talked about critiquing, this week we're going to talk about peer critique. And we're going to go through the peer critique and then we're going to do the live critique for week 3's assessment. Just a reminder, best way to contact me is through email, and then you can text message me, Skype me, or call me. Let's talk a little bit about peer critique. Why peer critique? Well, most writers, designers, artists depend upon feedback from others in their field to improve their work. To encourage this habit, you've been asked to critique the work of your fellow students in the discussion board this week. This critique is taken seriously. Your role is to help your fellow designers improve the piece and the quality of the work they have submitted. A designer does not design in a vacuum. A good designer will need to learn to take the feedback from their peers, clients, and bosses to solve a particular design problem. Critiques will also help you broaden your communication skills as a designer, as there is always the opportunity to articulate why you did what you did, or to better explain your idea to the reviewer if they don't see it as clearly as you do. A good critique can involve both positive and negative feedback, which can be tricky to navigate. The best way to approach critiquing someone else's work is to sandwich the feedback with love. If you think of your critique as a sandwich, the bread would be what you love about the work. In the middle, the feelings would be what you didn't like so much. First, tell your fellow designers what aspects you like about the piece. Whatever that may be, whether it's the color, the font, the images, a certain graphic, there's always something that you really like about something. Be descriptive instead of just saying you like it. Why do you like it? How does it make you feel? Those sorts of things. Explain why you like it. Be specific. Give them reasons you like it. You love that color, or that graphic is so clean and smooth. Whatever the case may be descriptive in those likes. Next, move on to the constructive criticism. If you think certain aspects of a design aren't working, try to explain why or offer suggestions on how they can be improved. Asking the designer questions may help them to see the problem in the execution of the design that they may not have seen on their own. You may also want to limit your use of personal pronouns like you to make sure your critique is about the design work and not about the designer. We all feel personal about our work, but during a critique, it's best to separate the person from the piece. For example, you say you have a critique about a line intersection. You may want to say the way the line intersects with that line instead of the way you intersected the line with that line. See that, guys? You're kind of taking out that personal aspect and just saying that line, the way it intersects with the other one, it looks a little off. Instead of saying you did it and it's off. It's a whole different way you perceive things. This will help reassure the designer that the criticism is about the work and not about them. It's all perception, and it works, guys. It works. I've had people say, you did this, you did that, you did this wrong, instead of, that's not really working with this design. And the way that font is lined up with the graphics underneath it, instead of saying something like, you lined up that font wrong. It's a perception thing, and it's easier to take feedback when the personal is out of it. You don't have to agree or like the decision of the designer, but their work deserves honest feedback. Put yourself in their shoes. If they are brave enough to share their work and ask for feedback, then they deserve to get that, both good and bad. Finally, don't forget to repeat or elaborate on what you liked about the piece so that the critique ends on a positive note. This way, The designer knows the piece may need some reworking, but also that there are aspects of the design that work as is too. How to receive critique well. Grain of salt method, guys. Hopefully, your fellow designers will follow the love sandwich guidelines and give you a great, honest critique. During a critique, it's important that when you hear the good and bad feedback to take it with stride. Design isn't math. There are no right and wrong answers, only subjective opinions that may differ from one designer to another. That being said, remember what a critique is about, your work, and making it the best it can be. It shouldn't be about you. If you disagree with specific feedback, explain your decisions thoughtfully, but also listen to what's being said. Remember, those who are giving critiques generally do so because they want to help you grow as a designer. So try not to get defensive or take their criticism personally. And if you don't agree with a specific comment you received during a critique, it's okay to ask for other opinions too. There are online resources like Dribbble and Behance that you can log into and share your work with others around the globe. Anyone, even a non-designer friend or coworker whom you trust to give honest or constructive feedback, can be a good resource. And a good round of feedback is always better than no feedback at all. Okay, guys, we're going to hop over and start the live critique. Now, I have gone through all of the submissions, and I have grayed out any identifying information. Things like your logo that have your name on it, anywhere in the footer, your copyright that had your name on it. I've grayed out your face on your images. And contact page, I grayed out any information just so we can keep everyone's privacy private and not have to worry about any identifying information being out there. So we're going to start with student 1. And we're going to hit the preview. I really like the homepage. I like the animation you've got on the welcome to. And you've got a good slideshow going on here. And the only thing I would suggest about this homepage is you don't have any text at all besides this welcome to. I would put some more information maybe down here at the bottom of the slideshow. Just a little, more or less a call to action that, you know, you're an awesome designer. This is what you do. This is what you love. That sort of thing. It will help with your SEO. Let's take a look at your about page. You've added that personal touch by including an image. That looks really good. And it's always a nice personal touch to have a professional photo there. That's clean and gives a little bit of your personality. Makes it a little more professional by adding and adds that personal connection to the viewer. And you've given a short bio about your education, what you do, that sort of thing. That looks really good. Your portfolio page, you have images that move and hover and zoom, but because I don't have those images, they don't show up. That's fine for now. When you submit for this week, you're going to want to make sure I have all the files. And then you have the contact page. You've got your basic form. A good idea on these simple contact forms, guys, you need to add another box. If you do any type of advertising, whether it's in a local newspaper or you do some sort of marketing campaign where you're mailing out postcards and things like that, you need to keep track of that and know how people are finding your website. So it's a good idea to add some radio buttons right under the cell phone of how did you hear about me? And then you can do advertisement, search engine, word of mouth. It's always a good idea to know how customers are finding you. It will help you decide how to advertise. Now, the only thing I see about this website is set up great. Love the layout. As a portfolio website, you really want to add some sort of wow factor. Something that really makes it stand out, because this just isn't just any website. This is your portfolio website. It's going to gain you customers. It's going to gain you employment. My suggestion would be that you might play with your background images. Let's see if we add. In reality, you could go to the browser field and add your image here and do the fitting as tiling, and it will tile these pieces until it fills the screen. But just so we can just look at it, I'm going to scale these. They look a little skewed, but I just want to see if my idea will work. That kind of gives it a whole different feel, and it adds a little bit of that wow factor, and it makes you stand apart and stand out amongst your peers. And that's the kind of things you guys are looking for. You want something that makes the viewer sit back and go, oh, this is really cute. This is really cool. That looks good. You want it to be memorable. Add in things like light shaded backgrounds. Now, this was a dark colored fence. I wouldn't have gone this direction, but it's a white colored fence, so it blends well with the white area around it. But adding small things like that will make your website stand out from the rest. And you always want something that makes you stand out, that gives you that wow factor. And the only other thing is you need to make this site responsive. It doesn't have any breakpoints. So at this point, if someone tried to look at it on a cell phone, it would look very, very odd. So don't forget to add that in there, and you don't have a copyright statement down here. Always a good idea to have that copyright. Okay, let's look at our next one. Good homepage, great SEO. You've got some text on here that's going to lead to some perfect SEO. You've got your headings. You've got your copyright statement. And you've got your contact on every single page. That makes it easier for your user. That's great UX. Your buttons, however, do not seem to be working. Let's go in and take a look at this navigation bar. Oh, you just don't have the states changed. Okay, the states on these buttons need to be changed. Oh, you do. Ooh, let's find out where they are in your layers panel. Something covering them up by chance? Menu. There's your menu. Is there? I don't see anything actually covering this up. There they go. The homepage looks great. Great SEO. Let's take a look at the About page. That looks good. Good SEO on that About page too. We've got some issues with your text here You want to take a look at that and fix that for sure. In a simple contact form, again, add those radio buttons. It's a great way for you guys to keep up with how people are finding you. That's always information that you want to know, always. Let's take a look at your contact form here. You've got your breakpoints, that looks good. And my other suggestion is inside your text boxes here, I would add a space or two right before each one so that each letter is not sitting right on the edge of that box since you've colored the background. Just add a space there. It'll make it look much better when they're viewing it in the web browser. So it doesn't look like the letter's being cut off by the edge of the box. Your breakpoint designs are good. You do need to work on your spacing. You've got text in all of these, but you've got big white space at the top, and you want to make sure that's more even. If you're going to center something, make sure you use your type tool and center it. Instead of trying to add spaces with your space bar, you'll never get it centered that way, and that's why in some of the breakpoints the text looks off. Just go through there and rework that. It's probably like that in all of the, use your actual tools to center it. That way, everything stays centered the way it's supposed to. And it will look right in every single breakpoint. Other than that, I think everything looks really good. You might play around a little bit with your color scheme. You've got a black logo with white text on it. So you might want to make your colors black. You could leave your navigation bar color, but instead of adding the secondary, which would actually be a third color to your website when it's blue and it's not in any way adding to your branding. So go with black. You get a whole different look when you do that. You want to keep your branding. Using a different color, accent color for your navigation bar is fine. I would go back and make the states of these buttons where you have them blue, make them black. And just kind of keep that branding. That will make your entire website, give it a different feel than that blue color. Kind of takes away from it. The background color you have on all of your headings, I think you could probably take that off as well. And instead, make the text black. Or you could do a black box there if you wanted to. I think instead of doing the box through, doing the black box through instead of doing just a black square through there, if you want to make a bar for your header, that way you could make sure it's the same on every single page. And let's go back and do that to the master page. That way it's in the same location for every page. You have a header on every single page. I had to make it black. And then just go through and rearrange. Everything's supposed to be, that could be a little closer, it looks like. Let's move this up some. Come on. That way, every single page has this nice little bar across the top of it. Instead of just a random square that's as big as your heading. And that's going to add a different look to all of your pages, as you can see. And it will give you more of that wow factor. It's different. And it's not something that's just placed somewhere that looks odd. You may have to go through and do some resizing and things like that to change the layout a little bit. But I think that's going to make a big difference to the website overall. Okay, let's take a look at our next one. Let's take a look at this preview. Love the setup. You've got a nice slideshow. It's kind of like a background slideshow. You added some shadow to the words you put across that slideshow for an opening homepage. That looks great. You've got a little bit of SEO going on here, and you've got alt text to add to that SEO on your slideshow. This is more like a landing page that works. The setup is fabulous. I love the sidebar. You did a great job with that. Let's take a look at your about page. You've got a nice header image up here. Always a great idea to have plenty of visuals on every single page, even if it's not of your work per se. Something that just pertains to your work. You've got a nice description of your about me, a good bio going on there, and a nice picture that gives a little that personal touch and gives a little bit of your personality. Another great banner image. You're missing your portfolio pieces. You're going to need to make sure you get those on here. And again, guys, mock them up. Give them that real world feel. It will make the design look 100 times better. Not to say that any of the designs are bad, but if it looks good flat, it's going to look exceptional mocked up. Mock up your work. And some things, even if it's not a great design, when you mock it up, it looks great. And then we have your contact page. You've got the Google map. It shows the area that you design in. That's an awesome idea. Again, I would add those radio buttons. Find out how people are hearing about you. Find out how they found you on the web. If it's an advertisement, was it word of mouth? Was it just simple search engine? That'll help you with your SEO. So this looks really good. Love the layout, love the sidebar. This has got its own wow factor. You did a great job with that. You need to add your breakpoints. Right now it's just desktop, so you wouldn't be able to view this on a cell phone and it look right. Be sure you go in and you add those breakpoints. Otherwise, this is exceptional. It already has its own wow factor. This looks really good. You did a great job. The header and the footer area look well. I love the color. So you've got a very colorful website going on, but you've chosen colors that aren't too bright, that look good on a monitor. It takes skill and patience to do that. You wouldn't believe how many websites that I see from junior designers in my office that the colors are just too bright. It's a pain in the eyes to look at them. And while it might look fine designing it in the program, when you see stuff like this in the browser, it can be very bright. In this case, your colors are bright, but they're nice muted shade, which makes your website have that fun, friendly, exciting kind of feeling. You probably want to go with that feeling. You don't actually have anything on the homepage yet, so you're going to want to work on that. But you've got a great color scheme and a great feel going on with this website. So stay with that. You might think about adding another bar across the bottom, right across the top of the footer. And maybe make this the same color as your buttons. Let's see. There we go. Maybe make this the same shade of purplish blue that you have on your menu bar. And then add that same bar across the bottom. Or you could even get creative and maybe help give your website that more of that wow kind of feeling. Let's move your bar up here. You've almost got a vintage kind of feel going here. I really like this. Let's see. Take this there and we're going to round the bottom. I'm going to select all these, group them, and I want to send the whole thing to the back. Kind of gives you that storefront feel. This could very easily give you that wow factor. You know, to play with your, you kind of have, you have your logo here, and then you have the actual name. You need to actually come up with your professional logo. I like the round oval feel. And maybe just you have a letter mark inside the oval, and then you have some typography word here. What I would do is expand this circle, make it bigger, and just do the words inside of it. Get rid of the letter mark. Then everything will fit up here, and you can kind of size it so it fits into this space here, or bring everything down a little bit, make it bigger as you need it. Either or would work. But this gives a whole different feel to your website. And you could go a step further and give this that pink outline. Send it back. You would want to make this design in Illustrator and then bring it in. That way you can outline it and everything still looks good. And you could outline it in peak if you can kind of imagine that there. Let's kind of ignore what's going on up there. Let's see if we can hide it. This will give you a better idea. That gives you a little bit of a different feel. And it kind of gives you that wow factor. You're going to want to create this header background in something like Illustrator and make it one solid shape to put in here. It'll look better that way. But you've got a nice retro vintage type feel going on with this color scheme. Go with that, because that'll give your website that wow factor. So you want to, your about page needs to be completed. Your bio at least needs to be on there. If you want to add that personal touch, add a professional photo. It doesn't even have to be professional. It's just one where, you know, your makeup's done, your hair's done, your clothes are done, and it's against a wall or a nature background or something like that that's not, quote unquote, a selfie shot. It's going to be a selfie. Make it look like a professional selfie. And add that to your about page. You need to populate your portfolio page with your work. Again, mock your work up. Make it look better. And your contact page, I love the contact form. Go ahead and move it down. Bump it over. You need to add some actual contact information over here. Phone number, the area that you service in graphic design. whether it be the county you live in, the state you live in, the city and state you live in. It can be anything like that. You want to add your phone number. If you have Skype, there's a widget that you can get for Skype that will allow people to click on that button and chat with you through Skype or call you through Skype. If they have Skype phone, they can call you through Skype. And add those options on your contact form. Find out how people are hearing about you. The color scheme I really, really like. You've just got that retro vintage feel going on here. Go with that. Add to it. And you need to have your copyright. This could be very, very cute, kind of that cookie cutter feel, if that makes sense. It's very retro, but it always has a wow factor to it. It always makes people take that second glance and think, oh, this is cool. And you already have that feel just with your color scheme. So go with that. Build on that. Any questions? That was the last submission for now. So as more get turned in, I will do another live critique and we will finish everyone's out. Otherwise, guys, enjoy your 4th of July. Have fun, be safe, and we are going to have a lecture tomorrow. I will actually probably record that lecture early tomorrow morning. It's just going to go over the requirements for the final assessment and what you need to do. And then we are going to have a lecture on Wednesday. We're going to call it a multi-session. If you guys need help with your work or you have questions, you can come into Wednesday's session. We will have it at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time, the same time as our normal lectures. It will be on Wednesday, and you can come in and get help. I know a lot of you have been coming into the SSC, and it inevitably, Christy and I both have numerous students, and you guys are having to wait. So tomorrow, I am going to open up, Wednesday, I'm going to open up the Zoom room. So you can skip the SSC, and you can come in and get help from me. And there shouldn't be a wait other than your fellow classmates, and they may help answer some of your questions when you see me helping them. So I will open the room for that, and you guys can come in on Wednesday and get help for that. Otherwise, we're going to have, I will record the lecture for tomorrow. All the emails I have gotten have asked me to postpone it. So instead of postponing it, I'm just going to record it early tomorrow, and as you guys have a chance, you can watch it. And the final isn't so bad. It will be fairly easy, so I'm just going to go over the requirements for that tomorrow, and then if you have any questions, you can come in on Wednesday and ask those questions and get help. Sound good to everyone? Okay, guys, enjoy your 4th of July. I will see you guys on Wednesday.